Hi everyone, Telios here. I wanted to talk a little bit about the mods I use for the General Skywalker event, especially the mods that I have on the Separatist droids. So looking here, we have the B1 battle droid. Um, the most important thing I think for the B1 battle droid is twofold. One is speed. You got to have speed on this character in order to let him build stacks. Because we don't have GG, GG won't be eating him more or less. So the more speed you have, the more stacks he builds, the more stacks he builds, the more tanky he is, or the more shots he can take. But the second thing that I think a lot of people don't focus on is damage, offense mod. So he doesn't need crit, and he doesn't need crit damage, but he needs offense and a lot of it. So one of the things that I think made my run so successful is the fact that my B1 has a ton of offense. So I know that mine is a relic 5. But I think even if you're at G12 or pre-relic level, I think offense is still a really big deal. So B1, speed, and offense are really your main priorities. Everything else can go to the wayside. Um, you notice I even have an offense and a health set. And the only reason I'm using the health set is because of the subs. You notice my triangle is offense percentage, speed, and has 183 offense. So that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, where you want a lot of offense on these mods. You really want a 4 offense set, and then you can kind of backfill from there. But you notice that each of my mods, some of these are perfect, quote unquote, and what I would consider. So like the square, for instance, has 3 ticks in speed and 3 ticks in offense. For me, when I'm looking for an offense mod for a character that needs speed and offense, that's basically what I'm looking for. Going on to B2, you will notice that I have him in 2 potency sets and a tenacity set. The tenacity set, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. I originally had these modded for beating Jedi Knight Revan teams. But the big deal that we want to look at in terms of modding for the B2 battle droid here is a little bit of potency if you can get it. But mainly we want some survivability. So you notice that I have quite a bit of protection between my circle and my triangle. And then I have a crit avoidance arrow. And I know that's really weird for a lot of people. General Skywalker crits a lot. So any of your characters that you need to survive, crit avoidance is really good for. So consider this. If you have a crit avoidance arrow and you avoid crits from all of the clones who are going to get crit up from Echo, and you avoid crits from General Skywalker, if something like B2 Battle Droid survives 1 or 2 more shots, that's potentially enough for you to use B1 again and heal him. So you're going to notice that on a couple of my characters, I have crit avoidance. And this, it's a really big deal because if your character is dead, it's not doing anything. So I've seen a lot of videos of people using, G12 teams and stuff like that. And a lot of what happens is their B2 is dead really early. And if your B2 dies, it's game over because your TM generator for the team is gone. So once B2 goes down, aside from being able to cleanse taunts and all that other stuff, you can't generate any more TM. So B2 being able to survive, I would say, is even more important. You almost don't need any speed on B2 at all because he's every time your guys are hit, he's gonna get his unique where he gets turn meter, and he's gonna go a lot regardless. So you want him tanky, survivable with potency, and basically some crit avoidance. I would even consider maybe that 30% potency mod that I have there. I would replace that with protection so that he's even tankier. But that's something that you can play with depending on where you think you are. Looking at my IG 100, you notice, let me refresh this page. There we go. So mine is Mine is also Relic 5 here, but I don't think it matters too much. So there are two things ultimately that matter for IG-88. Defense, because you want him to be able to tank a lot of damage. And I mean like a lot. Um, and protection. So you notice I have a speed set on mine. The only reason I do that is because I have his Zeta and I want him to be able to lay down that stun. I'm going to be perfectly honest with everybody. His stun doesn't matter at all. He'll never let in the stun. He's never going to stun a clone. He just doesn't have any potency or enough potency for his stun to matter. So forget that. You could run either 1, 2, or 3 defense sets, or 2 defense sets and a health set, something like that. But here are the important things. 3 protection percentage mods, and of course these are tier 6 mods, but if they're tier 5, you're only losing 0.5% on your protection. So you want your circle, cross, and triangle to be protection. And then again, there's that crit avoidance arrow. That crit avoidance arrow is such a big deal because these guys hit really hard and have a lot of assists. So you really want that crit avoidance to make sure that you survive the hits that are coming out. Aside from that, you really want defense, like defense. I would actually remod this team if I didn't complete this the first time around. You notice that my physical survivability, I have 64% armor. If I could, I would remod that and I would get him to like 75% or higher if I can, because I think it's that big of a deal. That crit avoidance arrow is a big deal. It means that he doesn't die from taking, an 80k crit from, General Skywalker, or those 60k crits that Echo is landing. If they can't land the crit, or if they miss the crit and it only hits you for 20k, well, the difference between 20k and 60k in this particular event is a lot. Because 2 or 3 of those miss crits, and all of a sudden your B1 goes again, your B1 gets another heal off, and your Magna Guard can go a whole nother round because it gets a bunch of health and protection back. So it's a really big deal for crit avoidance, I think. And then moving on, you notice I have a Relic 5 Droideka. I don't think the Relic matters at all on Droideka. 2 major things here. Slow. So you notice mine only has 15 extra speed. Droideka doesn't need to go fast at all. And offense. All the offense. You don't care about crit chance. You don't care about crit damage. It's mostly going to be true damage anyways. You want offense. And I would say the other thing that I do have on this particular character is, again, that crit avoidance arrow. I feel like I'm saying this a lot, probably because it's really important. That crit avoidance arrow means when your Droideka doesn't have his shield up and he's immune to damage, he's not going to get 1 or potentially 2 shot by the GSW team. It's a really big deal, I'm telling you. That the difference between taking a 20k shot and a 60k shot, or 30 or 40k normal damage from General Skywalker versus an 80k crit, that's the difference of winning and losing this battle, especially over time. So those are the mods that I'm using for my Separatist droids. You notice I didn't even go over Asajj Ventress. She is like useless in this event. She does nothing. Her leadership is useless. Her abilities don't do anything. I think she could be high gear, low gear. It doesn't matter. I don't think, even at Relic 7, I don't think she would do anything. Maybe you want to put 3x potency mods on her so that she can use her AoE cleanse and then follow that up with her AoE defense down, and you really want to apply that so you can get some more damage rolling. My AV died on the run that I completed successfully. My AV died, I think, first in the run. So I basically completed the whole thing with just the 4 sub droids. So that's my idea for modding. Take all that for what it's worth.